Any big New Year's plans?
Nah, not me.
Really?
Me,
the Y2K thing, have you
You know what? I'll be with family.
Yeah.
I'll be with family. I wouldn't advise, just be safe, stay cool.
I'm going to be surrounded by people that I love and in a nice warm climate. And whatever happens, happens.
No, I haven't got caught up in the hype about the millennium and all that. I'm just living day by day. I mean, I don't want to be in an airplane when 12 o'clock comes, New Year's Eve.
I'm not sure I really want to be traveling anywhere. Like I'm a little bit concerned about that whole Y2K flying air traffic control thing.
I was just talking to my mommy this morning on the phone, and she's telling me all this. She's like, don't get in an elevator. That's like her word. She's like, you're not allowed to get in an elevator. So I was like, okay, mommy, I'll stay away from that one.
Come see me in my new movie Reindeer Games this Christmas, 1999, right before the world ends, the Y2K.
The millennium, I'm gonna sit in my house and protect it from crazy spiritual freaks and looters and pillagers, and that's about it.
You know, I think what's gonna happen when it hits midnight in the year 2000, it's gonna be like the whole world watching the odometer roll over on their car at 10,000 miles. It's gonna be like, cool.
This hand and this hand, go like this, close your eyes and pray to who?
The big G-O-D.
That's the only way.
I have like 80 gallons of water and a whole bunch of inshore and like generators and things of that nature.
Prince can party like it's 1999 this year. Next year, we're all partying like it's, survivalist camp. That's all I'm saying.
By the turn of the millennium, many people were excited yet skeptical about what was to come in the near future. People were just so anxious about the new year, thinking that the world was going to end once the clock struck 12 on New Year's night in 2000, but we'll get back to that in a little bit. 1999 was one of the most exciting and memorable years that we've ever witnessed. You just had to be there. As of making this video, 1999 was 25 years ago, which is just crazy to me, as most of the events that occurred this year felt like they happened not too long ago. It's just so crazy to me to see how close yet far removed we are from this year as a society, and to see how much things have changed since then. I turned 4 this year, so I didn't really get to experience most of the events in real time, but I am aware of most of the things that happened throughout the year. There was just so many iconic pop culture moments that happened this year, from the big film releases, to the TV shows, to the musical releases, fashion, and technology, making this year one of the clear standouts from the Y2K era. As the last year of the 20th century and of the millennium, 1999 ended things on a high note. I feel like this year wrapped up the 90s decade perfectly, as we were just blessed with so many iconic moments from start to finish. This year just felt like one big event, making it one of the most memorable yet chaotic years in pop culture we have ever witnessed. So I thought it would be fun to take a look back at what life was like during the year 1999, and to see what made this year so special and exciting compared to the other years from the 90s. Like I said earlier, 1999 was one of the most memorable years we have ever witnessed. This was a very stacked year with so many exciting things that took place from January to December. Looking back, it's just so crazy to me to see how many iconic moments occurred in just one year. In sports, the Denver Broncos were the Super Bowl champions against the Atlanta Falcons, while the San Antonio Spurs won the NBA championship, and the Yankees gained their 25th win at the World Series, making them the team with the most wins, later being named the team of the century. Lance Armstrong won the Tour de France race after surviving cancer, Tiger Woods won his first PGA championship, and Michael Jordan retired from the NBA a second time, only to return again in 2001. We also said goodbye to sports legends like Joe DiMaggio and Wilt Chamberlain this year. If you were a gamer, you were most likely playing games like Donkey Kong 64, Pokemon Snap, or Super Smash Bros. And if you were a reader, you most likely read the new Harry Potter Potter and the Chamber of Secrets novel that was released earlier in the year. 3 years after its release, Pokemania had taken over the United States, capturing the hearts of young fans with books, trading cards, and the very successful animated series. The Pokemon franchise was just all the rage back in 1999. At this year's Oscars, Shakespeare in Love had the most nominations with 11, taking home 7 awards, including Best Picture, Best Direction, and Best Costume Design. And at the Grammys, Lauryn Hill swept the awards ceremony, taking home 5 trophies that night for her iconic breakthrough debut album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Lauryn was on top of the world by this time, so it only made sense for her to go home with several trophies. She won Best New Artist and Album of the Year amongst many others, making her the third and last black female to win Album of the Year at the Grammys. Her Grammy wins were seen by many as a historic and pivotal moment for hip-hop music, and perhaps the biggest pop culture moment of the year was the Y2K Scare.
Doug, everyone here is waiting for the same thing, the stroke of midnight.
With the new millennium on the horizon, many people around the globe grew concerned about what the future was going to look like after New Year's Eve. Paranoia swept the world as many people speculated about what would happen to computer software as well as the infrastructure they relied on. And this included everything from airplanes to cell phones to cell towers, internet routers, satellites, vehicles, and more. Things were definitely getting crazy as many companies spent billions of dollars worldwide on technological upgrades, while families stocked up on groceries and other goods to prepare for impending doom and a potential disaster. People were really out here fighting in stores and panicking over some canned goods. It was just really crazy. And once the clock struck 12 p.m. on January 1st, 2000, to everyone's surprise, nothing happened. Just another day. It's just so funny to me that people actually thought that the world was going to end in 2000. Like, that makes no sense, but who am I? People were just panicking and overreacting over nothing. Even though the world didn't end in 2000, the Y2K Scare ended up being the craziest and most anticipated and overhyped event of the year. It's definitely one of those things looking back that made zero sense and something that we'll just never forget. 1999 had to be one of the best years for the film and television industry. There was just so many iconic film releases this year from January through December, making going to the movie theaters a real treat and experience for everyone. Moviegoers were just blessed with a wide variety of films ranging in various genres, including sci-fi, comedy, romance, dramas, teen flicks, psychological thrillers, animation, action-adventure, and so much more. M. Night Shyamalan gave us one of the most memorable films of the year with The Sixth Sense, which starred Bruce Willis, who played a child psychologist. This film gave us the iconic "I see dead people" line, delivered by child star Joel Osment. The Sixth Sense received widespread critical acclaim by many due to its casting, atmosphere, direction, and surprise ending, with Osment's performance receiving high praise in particular. This year also gave us the first installment of the Matrix franchise, with Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, and Carrie-Anne Moss as the main leads. The film depicts a dystopian future in which people are trapped unknowingly in an augmented reality, aka the Matrix. To me, this film perfectly encapsulates the Y2K era and aesthetic very well, as I can tell exactly what year this film was released. The Matrix quickly became a pop culture phenomenon instantly, as it was praised for its storytelling, action sequences, cinematography, and visual effects. Speaking of, this film is mostly known for introducing and popularizing the bullet time visual effect, which is basically a modern slow motion technique used in modern filmmaking. The Matrix is considered by many to be one of the greatest science fiction films of all time, and was later inducted in the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress in 2012. On Thanksgiving Day 1999, Disney Pixar released their film Toy Story 2 as the highly anticipated sequel to the wildly successful Toy Story franchise. Tom Hanks and Tim Allen reprised their roles as everyone's favorite space ranger and cowboy duo. We were introduced to so many new and returning characters, expanding the Toy Story universe. This was the film that really solidified Pixar's status as a major competitor within the film industry. Fun fact, this film actually went through several delays and production issues, which ultimately almost got the film canceled. Despite many production issues, Toy Story 2 became an instant box office success, becoming the third highest grossing film of the year and the biggest animated feature at the time. This film is often described by many as a sequel that is better than the original and one of the best animated films of all time. Following a 16-year hiatus after the success of the Return of the Jedi film back in 1983, 20th Century Fox and Lucasfilm released Star Wars Episode I: The Phantom Menace in the spring of 1999. This film served as a prequel and an origin story for the events seen in the previous Star Wars films, focusing mostly on Anakin Skywalker's backstory. With the help of extensive media coverage, the film garnered a lot of hype and attention, making it the most anticipated film release of the year. Upon the film's release, it received mixed reviews from fans and critics. People felt like the character Jar Jar Binks was an unnecessary addition to the franchise, and that he felt misplaced only to serve the purpose of the comic relief character there to market towards children and younger audiences. Despite this, The Phantom Menace was a massive success, bringing in nearly $1 billion at the box office, making it the highest grossing film of the year, and the third highest grossing film at the time, right behind the first Star Wars film and the Titanic. This film was praised for its story, action sequences, visual effects, characters, dialogue, and overall entertainment value. Even though fans of the franchise find this to be just an okay Star Wars film, with some considering it to be the weakest of the Star Wars franchise, it's seen as the film that helped spark interest and mass hype for the franchise as a whole. 1999 was definitely a big year for major films that helped shape and define the current landscape of movies. There were so many other iconic film releases this year that I just couldn't leave out. Other major films released this year included The Iron Giant, Fight Club, American Beauty, The Green Mile, The Mummy, Girl Interrupted, Being John Malkovich, 10 Things I Hate About You, American Pie, Cruel Intentions, Runaway Bride, Notting Hill, Tarzan, and Austin Powers' The Spy Who Shagged Me, amongst many others. The television landscape of 1999 was also filled with so many great and memorable shows that premiered throughout the year. Just like films, this year we saw a wide variety of new shows targeted towards every demographic premiere on television. We saw the rise of game shows, sitcoms, cartoons, dramas, as well as cancellations of many other shows. Many of these shows defined the majority of the 2000s decade, but premiered in 1999. Cable TV was just so good this year. HBO Max debuted their new series, The Sopranos, earlier in the year, quickly becoming one of their most popular shows. The Sopranos was a crime drama comedy series revolving around a man named Tony Soprano. He's like a stereotypical New Jersey-based Italian mobster who struggles to find balance between his family life and leading a criminal organization, or the mafia. Most of the show is actually told through his time during his therapy sessions, which is actually pretty creative and different. The Sopranos was truly a groundbreaking series that was well received by viewers thanks to its cast chemistry, writing, character exposition, action, suspense, and drama. The show was a massive hit with a total of 86 episodes, 6 seasons, and millions of weekly viewers. And this show is actually considered by many people to be one of the greatest TV series in history. The game show genre had a massive resurgence in popularity this year once Who Wants to Be a Millionaire aired on television. Originally hosted by Regis Philbin, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire captured the hearts of many Americans and quickly became an overnight success on ABC. The show was a game show where contestants would compete against each other for a grand prize of $1 million, all while answering various multiple choice trivia questions. And they even got to call in somebody from home, or a friend, a family member, their grandma, you know, somebody. They got to call in somebody from home when they were stuck just for one question. And this show was a game changer and was one of the most popular game shows on American TV. After the success of the Rugrats throughout the 90s, Nickelodeon struck gold once again when they debuted their next big animated series, SpongeBob Squarepants, in the summer of 1999. SpongeBob became a global phenomenon overnight and quickly became the most popular show in Nickelodeon's history, dethroning Rugrats and other shows from that era. Fans around the world quickly fell in love with the show due to its comedic writing style, memorable characters, fun aquatic setting, and more. The show was just so unique and fresh and stood out from anything that was on television at the time. SpongeBob just became everybody's favorite sponge who lived under the sea. Get it? Like in the theme song? Okay, moving on. As of 2019, it became the 5th longest running animated series ever. And as of making this video, SpongeBob has remained on Nickelodeon for a total of 15 seasons, 299 episodes, and 3 theatrical films. Since its initial release back in summer 1999, SpongeBob has made approximately approximately $13 billion in merchandise revenue globally, which is just wild to think about. No wonder why the show hasn't ended. 1999 was filled with so many other great shows that premiered this year, including Family Guy, The Parkers, Rocket Power, So Weird, LA Heat, Futurama, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Judge Mathis, Roswell, Freaks and Geeks, The PJs, Dragon Tales, Ed, Edd n Eddy, WWE SmackDown, Law and Order SVU, The Amanda Show, and so many more. 1999 was a big and exciting year for mainstream music. This was a stacked year with so many major hits and record-breaking albums from some of the biggest artists of the decade. Many people consider this year to be one of the best years for music, and I might have to agree with them. 1999 is by far one of my favorite years for music from the 90s decade, with so many iconic releases making this year just feel so memorable and timeless. Throughout the year, we witnessed the rise of many breakout stars, comebacks, and new genres that took the world by storm. So many genres dominated the year, including Latin pop, R&B, country, alternative, hip-hop, dance, and pop, making 1999 one of the most diverse years in music. This was a time when the charts was just dominated with so much variety and when everybody knew every song. 1999 was just a big year with some of the most memorable songs to come from the 90s, ending the decade with a bang. Some of the biggest songs from the year were Livin' La Vida Loca by Ricky Martin, Man, I Feel Like a Woman by Shania Twain, Nobody's Supposed to Be Here by Deborah Cox, Smooth by Santana and Rob Thomas, Every Morning by Sugar Ray, Bills, Bills, Bills by Destiny's Child, All Star by Smash Mouth, If You Had My Love by Jennifer Lopez, Slide by the Goo Goo Dolls, Bailamos by Enrique Iglesias, and Have You Ever by Brandy, amongst many others. The Backstreet Boys dominated this year with the release of their third studio album, Millennium. They were able to capture the hearts of teens around the world with their smooth vocals, dance moves, and bubblegum pop sound, making them the definitive teen heartthrobs of the era. This album ended up being the highest selling album of the year, selling around 11 million copies in the US that year, and as of now, this album has sold over 24 million copies worldwide, making it one of the highest selling albums of all time. The lead single, I Want It That Way, quickly became one of the most popular songs of the year and became the group's signature hit. Other hits from this album included Larger Than Life and Show Me the Meaning of Being Lonely, with Larger Than Life actually having one of the most expensive music videos ever made. R&B girl group TLC also had a pretty big year. After a 5-year hiatus, TLC released their highly anticipated third studio album, Fan Mail, in early 1999. The album served as a comeback for the group and was dedicated to all of their fans who sent them actual fan mail throughout the years. The album included many beeps, clicks, phone rings, and computer sound effects, which just perfectly encapsulated the Y2K aesthetic and era. The album's lead single, No Scrubs, ended up being one of the biggest songs of the year, spending a total of 4 weeks at the top of the Billboard Hot 100 and staying on the charts for most of the year. This song was inescapable in 1999, being in constant rotation on music video channels, as well as being the most played song on US radio in 1999. The album's second single, Unpretty, also performed really well on the charts, peaking at the #1 spot during the fall of that year, giving the group their fourth and final #1 as a group. Pop legend Cher made a huge comeback this year with her smash hit Believe. Being released in late 1998, Believe quickly became a global hit and dominated the radio and charts throughout 1999. The song ended up topping the Billboard year-end list, making it the biggest hit of the year. And this song is actually known for its use of auto-tune effects, which helped popularize the trend throughout the 2000s decade. Christina Aguilera made her debut with her single Genie in a Bottle, which became the song of the summer this year. Christina was one of the many artists that came on the scene this year as a fresh face to the entertainment industry as just a teenager. But perhaps the biggest debut of this year, without a doubt, was Britney Spears. In late 1998, Britney Spears made her grand debut as a musical artist, and by 1999, she became a household name. At just 17, Britney had the hottest song in the world and was the clear breakout Artist of the Year. Britney Spears bursted on the scene with her smash debut single, Baby One More Time, which solidified her as a global sensation overnight. The song became a chart topper all over the world and became a defining moment for music during the 90s. Many people actually consider Baby One More Time to be one of the greatest and most influential debut singles of all time. I Want You Back by Jackson 5 has entered the chat. With her friendly and innocent good girl next door persona, she was able to become America's sweetheart. She was just everywhere this year, from award shows to talk shows, red carpets, and more. Britney Spears was catapulted to superstardom and was the leader of the teen pop craze during the late 90s and early 2000s. You just had to be there as Britney Mania took over. With the success of her debut album, she was able to gain even more hit singles throughout the year, including songs like You Drive Me Crazy, Sometimes, Born to Make You Happy, and so many more. Britney Spears literally became the it girl of the year, and she quickly became the biggest pop star of the 2000s decade. 1999 was such a crazy and memorable year from start to finish. So many iconic moments happened that left a big impact on the world. Like I said earlier, this year was just filled with so many nostalgic moments, from the films to the TV shows, fashion, technology, and music. This was the end of the 90s decade, so it just felt like one big celebration to close out the decade and start the new millennium. There were other major pop culture moments that happened this year, including the launch of Napster, the Columbine school shooting, bucket hats, President Bill Clinton's impeachment, Xenon premiering on Disney Channel, Zaboomafoo, the Millennium Dome opening, Tamagotchi toys, Diddy and J-Lo's involvement of a club shooting, the opening of the highly immersive Islands of Adventure in Orlando, Florida, Tony Hawk being the first skateboarder to land a 900, and Lil' Kim wearing this to the VMAs. All in all, 1999 was an iconic year that we would never forget. So I want to know from y'all, what was your favorite pop culture moment from 1999? Did I miss anything? What was your favorite film of 1999? What was your favorite TV show? What was your favorite song? Who was your favorite artist? Do you remember watching TRL this year? And what was a crazy moment from the year that you remember? Let me know down below. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate each and every one of you all. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more fun videos just like this. See ya!